Good morning. My name is Jamie Shoemaker, and I am the Republican candidate for sheriff for Rock Island County. I'm here today with Darren Bailey and Aaron Delmar to address a very serious topic, the loss of jobs in Rock Island County and outside the Quad City area. Approximately 2,500 jobs were lost when they immediately shut down the plant with very little notice to these people. Now, I've been knocking doors and talking to residents, and these individuals are stressing how concerned they are about not having these jobs and what their families are going to do. I think it's very important that Aaron Delmar and Darren Bailey came here today to recognize how serious this is for Illinois residents. So as the next sheriff of Rock Island County, I want to express how important this is that we address this topic, and we cannot afford to lose any more jobs in Rock Island County. So without further ado, I introduce Darren Bailey, future governor of Illinois.
Well, good morning, and I want to thank everyone for being here in Hillsdale this morning, just outside the Tyson food plant. Less than 2 weeks ago, nearly 2,500 Illinoisans walked into the facility behind us, expecting to do their jobs. Instead, they learned that their livelihoods were being ripped away. No meaningful warning, no time to prepare, just a letter telling them that it was over. These are parents wondering how they're going to pay their next mortgage. Workers worried about their health insurance. Families deciding whether they can afford to remain in our community that they call home. They deserved better from Tyson, and they deserve the full support of state government. Governor Pritzker says his administration is working with Tyson and mobilizing state resources. We welcome every legitimate effort to help these workers, and we hope that it succeeds. But helping families file for unemployment is not the same as creating an economy where they can find another good-paying job close to home. Job search assistance will not replace 2,500 paychecks. A training seminar will not replace an economic engine that this community just lost. JB Pritzker immediately pointed towards Washington and national economic conditions. The cattle shortage is real, but so is Illinois' economic record. After nearly 8 years in office, Pritzker cannot take credit every time a business opens and blame Washington every time one closes. That's not leadership. Leadership means accepting responsibility and preparing Illinois to compete. Since 2019, Illinois' real GDP has grown just 7.9%. That ranks us number 46 in the nation and nearly 10 percentage points below the national average. Compared to Pritzker's first year in office, Illinois now takes approximately $18 billion more from taxpayers every year. That is a 51% increase. Under Pritzker's, Illinoisans have been hit with at least 63 tax increases, carrying a cumulative cost of more than $77 billion. Illinois homeowners pay among the highest property taxes in the nation, and our employment rate remains above the national average. Major employers have taken notice. Caterpillar moved its headquarters to Texas. Boeing moved its headquarters to Virginia. Citadel went to Florida. TTX went to North Carolina. Tyson previously closed its Chicago area headquarters office, and it's now shutting down this facility. But those announcements don't tell the entire story. Manufacturers, family farms, restaurants, wineries, and locally owned shops are also struggling. Their storefronts go dark, their workers lose their jobs, and their communities lose another piece of their economic foundation. Families are voting with their feet, too. In 2024, Illinois experienced a net domestic migration loss of more than 82,000 people. Every family that leaves and every business that closes weakens our economy and reduces our tax base. Springfield responds by raising taxes and fees on people and the businesses that remain. More people are leaving, more businesses close, the burden becomes heavier on those of us who stay. JB Pritzker did not create the national cattle shortage, but after nearly 8 years, he is responsible for whether Illinois is affordable, competitive, and prepared to replace the jobs that we lose. On that measure, his administration has failed. Pritzker loves to use the family's Hyatt fortune to present himself as a successful businessman. But a real businessman understands that taxes, energy costs, regulations, and uncertainty affect where companies invest and where jobs are created. JB Pritzker has never had to sit at the dinner table and wonder whether one missed paycheck would cost him his home. He does not live with the consequences of the policies that he imposes on everyone else. A Bailey-Delmar administration will take a completely different approach. We will deliver property tax relief, eliminate unnecessary unfunded mandates, and cap annual property tax increases. We will revisit SEJA and eliminate the provisions that are increasing utility bills, weakening reliability, and driving employers away. We will audit state spending, eliminate waste, and ensure taxpayer dollars support legitimate public needs instead of bureaucracy, corruption, and political favoritism. For the workers affected by this closure, the immediate priority must be connecting them with assistance and new employment opportunities. State government must also work aggressively with local leaders to find a new employment for this facility. We hope Governor Pritzker's conversation with Tyson produces results, but Illinois families have had enough promises from Springfield. JB Pritzker will blame Washington. He will blame national trends. As a matter of fact, he will blame anyone whose name is not JB Pritzker. But he cannot blame his way out of 8 years of failure. Illinois deserves leadership that accepts a responsibility, fights for every job, and understands that working families cannot afford 4 more years of JB Pritzker. This is what Aaron Delmar and I will bring to Illinois and the governor's office. Thank you very much. Time for questions. Well, we have to visit what's obvious. I mean, the corporate tax rate in Illinois is twice what it is just across the river in Iowa. And where's this plant moving? They're moving to Iowa. Why didn't the plant in Iowa close and move to Illinois? Because of all the burdensome regulations, the heavy taxes that are imposed. Those must immediately be visited. And I'm telling you what, they will be. From the party that might still sit in control, they will come to the table. We will work together, and we will create an environment in Illinois that will bring this, will make this state the economic engine that it used to be. Well, obviously, we should have been dealing with this 8 years ago. Our tax base is out of control. Our property taxes, business regulations, our corporate taxes. Everywhere you turn, it's difficult to do businesses in Illinois. That seems to be the headlines all around this state is small businesses, large businesses that are closing their doors and leaving. Yet no one in Springfield is doing anything about the unnecessary burden of the reasons why this plant closed its doors and moved to Iowa. We've got to come and talk about that. And instead of increasing the burden on the taxpayers, and instead of creating just completely unnecessary more regulation and bureaucracy, as Illinois has done the last 8 years.
You know, I have a question. Once again, Darren Bailey and I are here before the governor of Illinois. We were in Will County, we were in Cook County when 5 tornadoes hit, and then the next day he comes. We are now here 2 weeks after this plant closes, when 2,500 people have lost their jobs, their economy is in tatters, and yet JB Pritzker still has not shown up. He has not been here. That is a failure of leadership. There's a failure of showing up. He should be here before we're doing the job that we haven't even been elected to yet. That should be at the forefront of everybody in this rural area's mind, the disinvestment that created this. You know, instead of waiting for the bottom to fall out, JB Pritzker should be proactive and in reinforcing business in Illinois, giving them tools so this type of thing doesn't happen. So we're not the first company to get fired when they have to choose between 3 or 4 different states. Every single time, when companies decide which group to close, Illinois is always number one in closing down business, factories, and plants, and it has to stop.
I think another important answer to the questions you both asked is working closely with the administration in D.C., regardless of who is president. I've said it before, you've heard it, and I think it's just becoming more and more resilient and real that JB Pritzker hates President Trump more than he loves the people of Illinois. So regardless of who is in power in D.C., regardless who is president, I will be working closely so that the people, the schools, the families, the businesses flourish and benefit from what D.C. has to offer, and instead of turning my nose away from it and blaming them for not working with us. Thank you.
Well, I would say to them again, why are you not here before us? You know, if we get anything from this past conference, is that it'll put pressure on JB Pritzker and his administration to come here and do something about it. You know, where is the Illinois Department of Employment Security having a 24-hour office? Because as these people get let go tier by tier, they need to have resources ready for them right away for unemployment, for health insurance, for those different items. Where is the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity putting pressure on another replacement company for this? Where are the different state agencies working together in tandem? I know that they have a job fair on September 2nd, but we need to be bringing employers here to Illinois and to Joslyn instead of trying to put our workers, 2,500 people, in other fields. We should also be talking about what are you going to do to make sure that the tax base that they have through property tax here doesn't affect the local schools. That's going to be a major problem. When they shut this plant down and they try to have it devalued because it's vacant, where are all those dollars to pay for the educational system from the property tax that it creates going to go? It's going to get shouldered and burdened on the residents. That can't happen. So you need to get all different levels of government, and it starts by JB Pritzker showing up.
God bless you, and thank you very much for coming out. Thank you. I'm assuming some of you that are here are workers here, so God bless you and good luck.